You're not trying to escape, are you?
Better luck next time.
Prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself.
Try again.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry. The sedative will wear easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bed.
Well, look what the doc dug up. You're lucky they didn't notice just how thin you were under those bandages. Although, seeing someone wrapped up like that, they probably thought you had the scabbing plague. Better keep that hood down, mind you. The living don't take kindly to seeing their future staring back at them.
Playing dead, are you? Probably a good idea. Playing dead, are you? Probably a good idea.
An animal sty. Freight or food? Did you expect a needle? That click. This floor plate triggered something.
should have known there'd be trouble.
Finds the sunken hollows that once held your eyes. He speaks not with gratitude, but with gleeful malevolence.
Ah, freedom tastes better than wine. And I can set you free in return. Say your prayers while you've breath to...
Empty.
And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
Empty.
Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers, you'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why? Because we're at sea.
Index fingers pressed to her lips. She pauses a moment to give you a...
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll... A new life awaits, and if you're a particular...
Good gods! There's been a murder here.
No indications of a struggle.
Sing us a song, I know you can.
That light.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll let rolling dice. Deciding fates. Don't worry, honey.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
She eyes you quite seriously.
Not the future, no. But I can read the past in flesh. One of the perks of being an elf, you see. I'm quite good at it, too.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
I could lick your arm and tell you how you spent the night before last. Shall I?
She looks at you in surprise when you bear an arm of bone.
You shut up.
You think me mad?
My. Guess I'll have to find out the...
She gives your arm a vigorous stroke of the tongue, efficient like a cat grooming.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
You were in a cellar with other sorcerers, watching, staring at them, hoping. You were thinking of flesh. Or, to be rather more precise, the pleasures of the flesh. Those that have eluded you for so long. Of course it is. The truth's right there. But don't you worry, darling. Your secret's safe with me. I don't lick and tell.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying
Well,
to
well.
concentrate.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable, surely.
There's some discoloration, as well as a rather disconcerting lack of tongue and gums, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten bed nest. Your kind
Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
This wolf on a leash now. As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hand you right over the side of this ship with him.
It was one of them. I know it.
And of course, a cook who can't taste is about as useful as a dog in a chess game.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle.
On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic, a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to
The very basics, then. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. As per your own testimony, you can groom, but you have the taste buds of a dung beetle and the fashion sense of a monkey in a clown suit. That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry. I know, but you just don't have what it takes. A good slave's made of sterner stuff, I'm afraid. Still, hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine. You keep dreaming. How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't...
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring... Meanwhile, the...
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic. That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire. Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now. As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Seems to me you should be a little more afraid. There's a killer about, after all. Listen up, boy. You hear that?
Boiling a bit of cabbage becomes a crime. I shall hold my head steady.
Sing us a song, I know you can.
I forgot how to sing. I did.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic. That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire. Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now. As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
The ship, of course.
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
You, Jill, is that right?
And?
I've a few questions for you. You are Jill, aren't you? I ain't saying nothing. Bloody dwarves, I'll come back to you, and you better be ready to talk here.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
there's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty.
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
Are all I was given.
That isn't anger, it's
Unacceptable.
He cocks his ear to the other side, then smiles.
anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my breeches if I were you, mate.
Your Majesty. Maybe
That's all you hear, though.
more concerned.
Listen close.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
Around a campfire. Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now. As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with him.
Please, please, please. Be good, you scallywags.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news.
She got
No, you beautiful idiot. That wasn't any rat. It was the wheel. Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east.
Coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
There's nothing else.
Burn my beard. That means if we've been traveling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
Anything less than a dozen course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concern than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Captain, actually. And that figure tells me we're getting close to the Joy. Close to what lies beyond it, too.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
We've got this wolf on a leash now.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips.
Decided the ship with it.
You one of them? A Divine Order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence well enough, but make no mistake.
That's enough now.
Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this Trampython.
I've seen more appetizing things coming.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses on.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on. One of us will kill our own, then picking us off one by one. We just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up. Mad? Insufferable, surely.
Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Easy now. I might think the same. But Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You!
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
What you must. I've nothing to hide.
Seems to me you should be a little more afraid.
Name.
Till overboiling a bit of cabbage becomes a crime, I shall hold my head steady.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
Well, perhaps there's nothing else I can make, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
There has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned.
Don't you get saucy with me. You clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Ah, there you are. How would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this loaser woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly, deathly allergical.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on. One of us will kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? Like yourself, maybe. I don't mind the kiddies, usually. Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud as quickly as they came. The clouds...
Good luck, Chief.
Put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
The elf is reading a volume. He reaches up. He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
It's a register, sir. You fair and glad to hear you hit.
Keep those bolts trained on her, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter?
Murder most keep.
Standing at the center of the room.
So you admit?
Yes, I did.
Good. You there?
By all means, do as the officer says. But you had better hurry, because...
She reaches...
I'm just about to...
She smiles.
Press...
What happened?
beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You can't see if he's living or dead. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. He's alive. The dwarf lies... You hear a faint... The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters! Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards. Heck, gods. By divine grace, who was...
He eyes the...
Another sorcerer! Like you don't know? Mutiny! Did that witch fix your collar too? Go on then. Find a place to hide and stay there. Great God, something's pounding on the hull!
The marking on the door was painted recently. Judging, you press your... It doesn't budge. The moment you touch... The moment you touch the door... The moment you touch the door, greatness seeps into your bones. You are...
I need to get off this shit.
Return and dwarves first, just my little story say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes.
Said there were other people down there. We need to...
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time to get the hell out of here.
Thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
Wait! Wait, Woken! Beardless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch. In the dark with you.
I thought Void Woken was supposed to be scary.
I've faced worse.
Let the games begin.
They who are about to triumph salute you.
Away! The sea's hungry. We don't have much time.
I hear something. It's...
There's no time.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Void Woken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Orivan.
bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? It seems someone, something, wanted me alive. I thought the Order would get rid of any trace of the old Source King. Droid woken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it to shore. I thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by Void Woken. I wonder which order.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright blood-red color. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
I did survive, yes. And chances are I wouldn't have had you not returned to the aid of your fellow passengers down in that dreadful hold. You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get carried away, shall we? Now then, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident I was gazing out over the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories. Quite.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities, and shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. What do you mean? What do I mean? I mean just what I...
Suddenly, having all the air...
Well, don't just stand there, gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World Tamer. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. Truly. A kind offer indeed. And you've already proven to be trustworthy enough. Fine. I accept on one condition. For reasons I'll not disclose right now, it is imperative that I should meet with a dreamer, one of the mystics of my kind. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. Jolly good. Oh, my word. How you do it. Come now, did you really think a handful of linen towels can fool me? But don't worry. I have studied the arcane arts for years, including necromancy and demonology. I do not hold the petty prejudices of common folks. In fact, I prefer the exceptional. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Very well. Onwards then to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're away, you'll be travelling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, Milord. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without further ado, let us be off!
A black cat. Some would see this as an omen.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity. Its eye is clear, and it shakes its head, confused.
That's a pretty one. Hey, mister, I'm sure glad...
The cat's eyes are clouded. It appears...
We already did, Magister. Now speak.
I wonder where this leads.
You walk up to a skeleton unlike any you have ever seen before. His skull seems to be carved into intricate patterns, with a gemstone sitting in the middle of his forehead. Approaching, you hear a profane rumble from the undead beast.
Bugger. How on earth am I supposed to... Oh. Perhaps...
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards. After a few more tugs at the man's cheeks, the skeleton relents, letting the head drop to the ground with a damp thud.
Damnation. That stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as some form of anchor? Ah! No! Stay back! Don't... Oh. It's you. I must admit I'm surprised. Perhaps you're more buoyant than I suspected. It seems the human that stole my mask was rather more resourceful than I gave her credit for. I chased her here, but she rather seems to have given me the slip. Thus...
He turns back to the body, prodding at its face cautiously.
Why, its face, of course. What other use would I have for some rotting corpse? A face that seems rather stubbornly attached to his skull. I would normally employ a tool to delicately but viciously rip the face from the body. I could then craft a mask to hide my bone. But as I lack such a tool...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin holds firm.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. I have important things to do on Reaper's Coast. I cannot simply sit about waiting for the rest of you to die so I may continue my business in peace. No, I may be an eternal, but my patience... Indeed, I may be the only eternal. My people seem rather absent. At least from this realm. As for the others... well... I suppose, circumstances being what they are, you seem more at ease in this world than I. A guide would certainly... Excellent. While we are conversant... Of course, the arcane arts are my little speciality. I could do that with one hand behind... Splendid. Very well. Let...